Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. So we've got another Disney princess for you today. Today is Jasmine. This one has actually been requested, got a year ago, and I do remember your name. Your name is Bri Fisher. She requested it because she had seen me have this series up on, I think it was like Reddit or Makeup Bee was the other place I posted, on Facebook and things like that. And probably my Instagram, and she requested me to do a video on this, but it was a year ago, so I'm so sorry it's taken this long, but I've had to get like so many other videos up, but I got here, it's here, yeah, and it's for you, Bri. And yeah, so this is Jasmine. It's basically the same way I did the last one. I've kind of tweaked things slightly to my style of makeup now, added a little jewel here and there. Kind of went a little bit all out because I found this top and I was like, oh, that's cute, that'll go. And then this hairband because I was like, oh, that'll also go. Yeah, why not? But yeah, this is probably the most effort I've put in bar Halloween. But yeah, this is the Jasmine look. It's very dramatic, gorgeous colours. I actually love how this looks on the eye. I think it's so striking on the eye, and super bronzy skin. Well, bronzy for me anyway. And yeah, if you want to see how to get this look, then keep on watching. Alrighty guys, so we're going to start off the look. I have kind of already started a little bit, so I've got my foundation on like normal, my brows on like normal. I prime my eyes with this, just a sample size of the Urban Decay Primer Potion. On my lid I'll do my brow and my lower lash line, and then I've put some, this is just medical tape, just to give me a nice sharp line. Try to get them as even as I possibly could. I do have false nails on. I stuck them on just before the video, and I'm struggling to do anything. I don't know how anyone does their makeup with nails this long on anyway. I would have long nails normally, but I cut them, so yeah. So let's start. So I'm gonna start with, maybe with mapping out my crease. I'm gonna do the old school way of doing cut crease, where I actually draw it in myself, just because that's what I'm used to, and that is kind of how I did this look years ago. So the first shade that I'm going to start with is Inglot's 483. It's like a dark navy. So we're just going to start with that, just to give us that nice cut crease. And this is just a small teeny weeny little flat brush, and I'm only coating one side, which is so I've got the other side to kind of keep that sharp end. So I'm using the clean side facing down towards my lid and the coated side facing up towards my brow, just so I don't get any colour down the bottom. I can use concealer to clean up if I want to, but I'm hoping I won't need to. So looking straight into your mirror, we're just going to start mapping out just above where your crease starts. Just kind of roughly map it out. So with that kind of shape, and then I'm just going to get my little mirror. And we're going to just smooth that all out, just so it's nice and sharp. Making sure the base of the line, so the underneath part here, is really nice and sharp if you can. And then the upper part we can soften if we need to. And then picking up a little bit more product, and just from there start flicking that towards the tape, because this is going to be our nice little guideline. And just start thickening that up. So this is literally how cut creases are done like a million years ago. I say that as if like cut creases started like 500 years ago, which they probably did, but I don't know. This is how I used to do it all the time. It's probably how I still prefer to do it, just because I'm so used to it. But we're making sure it's thicker out here and thinner as we go in. Okay, so once we have that done, the next shade I'm going to take is the shade 371 from Inglot. It's a super bright kind of, I don't know, electric blue is the only way I could describe it to you. And I'm going to take a Real Techniques shading brush, so like this guy, and this is a matte shade, so we're going to use this to help soften out this navy and also amp up the colour slightly. So we're just going along that edge. Make sure you hit the tape down here, because you want to make sure that's nice and pigmented right along that edge there as well. And then just bringing that across all the edge along here. So we obviously want the navy to be the darker, but we don't want it to be too dark. We still want it to be nice and bright, and we will be darkening it again, so we still want to lighten it slightly. And just keep going in and smudging until it blends. Okay, so now we have our nice blend going. We've got a nice bit of a fade out. Don't mind under here, that's all going to be taken away with the tape, so don't worry about that too much. And if you feel like you've brought it up too high, we can always add in a brow highlight, so don't worry too much about that either. So the next thing we're going to do is work on the lid. We're going to do some gold shades and a little bit more blue on the lid to really represent Jasmine's dress, and the gold is like her jewellery and the kind of, because she's a princess and all that kind of stuff, she's got like lots of jewellery and all that. So let's move on, and I'm going to take a small little flat brush, and I'm going to start with this shade 07 from Inglot. It's like a gold with a very, very slight peach undertone, but it's definitely more gold, especially when it goes on me. And I'm going to take that just on kind of just the width of the brush really. We're not really going much more than that, just on this inner part of the lid. And then after that we're going to go into a stronger gold. So this is a little bit more of a true gold. It's 430 from Inglot. I'm just flipping my brush over and just using the other side. And again, just about the width of the brush, we're just going to kind of pop that right next to it and just overlap slightly. This is more the gold that we want to represent Jasmine's like jewellery and stuff like that. So popping a little bit more of this on. Just bringing it up as far as where the navy is in the crease, so we're not bringing it up any higher. So I'm just going to clean my brush off on a little colour switcher. It doesn't really matter because the blue I'm going to use next has gold in it, so if you don't get to clean it, it doesn't really matter too much. But the next shade I'm going to use is the shade 413. So it's a bright shimmery gold blue with a gold shimmer in it, and we're going to basically just pop that right next to that gold, just where it ends, and overlap that. So this is going to help the gold that we have here blend into the bright blue we're going to use out here, because the bright blue I use out there is more matte, and it's going to be very hard to blend one, a matte and a shimmer together, and two, a blue and a gold together, because they're quite contrasting colours. So by having a blue with the gold in it, it just helps it blend that little bit more. And then just clean off the brush again, because I don't want it to be shimmery. I want it to be still matte, so you can see the difference. We're going to go back in with the shade 731, or 371, sorry. 371, yes. The matte shade that we used to blend out the navy in the crease. And we're just going to pop that on this last little part out here. And it's going to turn out so vibrant now against the golden sort of shades. And it just gives us that pop, and this is the kind of colour of her outfit. And then just on the other side of the brush, I just took one little swipe of the shimmery blue that we used here, and then just overlapped those two together. Because they're both basically blue, well, one is definitely blue, the other one is blue and gold, they'll also blend quite well together. These are the kind of things you need to think about when you're picking out your eyeshadows. What colours are going to blend well together? What do I need to put in between the two main colours I want to use? Because my two main colours was this bright blue and the really strong gold. But I needed something in between to help them blend together, because it'd be very hard and it'll take a really long time to blend, and you wouldn't get that really nice gradient. And the kind of bluey gold in the middle gives a really cool effect when it's on the eye. Okay, so now going back in with the very first brush, I used the really small little flat brush, and we're going to take a matte black from Inglot. This is the shade 63. I'm just going to again load up one side, tap it off a little bit because it is black and we don't want it to go absolutely everywhere. And we're just going to go in and just kind of line out the base of that cut crease. And starting out here, because this is where I want to be the darkest, because that's the outer corner. And then as we get in, there'll be less product on the brush, so it'll just taper off nicely on its own. And then just kind of, so where we've had it like flat to the eye, we're going to just flip it vertically. And just rub that along the edge of that line. The upper edge of the line, not the base of the cut crease. And then just going back in with whatever's left on this shading brush from Real Techniques from the blue, and then just soften that black slightly. Not going with the navy because, I mean, there's no point really. Won't really do much. Okay, so now we've got the upper lash line done. I'm going to do the big reveal, and we can take this tape off because it's annoying me now and I don't need it anymore. So let's just reveal. Ooh. So my eyes were sweating. Okay, so now we've got that done, and not really much follow because I kind of caught it, whatever it was. But you'll notice that when I do my tape, I'll kind of move in a little bit. I start my tape like, I don't start it against my lashes up here. I kind of start it here, so that way when I do my lower lash line, it'll join up with the shadow. It's not just going to like randomly start from nowhere. So we're going to move on to the lower lash line now. And I'm going to take a small little pointed brush like this and the 371 shade again. And we're just going to run that basically along the entire lower lash line. Make sure it's really, really vibrant. And you can bring it down as far as you want. I'm going to bring it down kind of just to coat the entire kind of ridge of my lower lash line. Okay, and then cleaning off the small little flat brush we used to do all our crease work, I'm going to take the navy again, the 483. Again, just coating one side and having the coat side facing down. Just going to align that right into the lashes. Just to really define the eye and help with that real nice smoky lower lash line. I'm going to kind of extend my lower lash line in a little bit here. Not too heavy, just to give the effect. And take a little bit more and just make sure that it connects to this outer corner here. Just so it all joins up and really frames the eye really nicely. Okay, and then I'm going to take the tiniest little bit of the black and just use that to darken right in between the lashes. So I brought the navy down a little bit further than the root of my lashes, but this we're going to keep right into the root of the lashes. We are going to do black liner as well, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so now I'm going to just tidy up underneath. I put a little bit of eye cream on my under eyes just before I filmed this tiny little clip, because it felt really dehydrated under there. And I'm just going in with the Inglot Under Eye Concealer. This is the shade 95, the shade I Am. It's the light shade that they do for me. That's not too white. They also do a white, but I didn't want to go for white. So because I've got nails on, and I would normally use my fingers, I'm just going to use a Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, and just buff that under my eye. Just to help cancel out any darkness under the eye, and also tidy up any edges like along here you want to clean up. You can just go in with that. Okay, so then to finish off with kind of actual shadow, I'm going to go in with my inner corner highlight. This is the shade 45 from Inglot. It's like a white with a gold reflex. Well, it's not really white, it actually looks quite yellowy. That's it there, and it just reflects really strong gold, so I thought it'd be really nice for my inner corner. And let's get a little brush for that. So we're gonna kind of, because we've done this like inner little lip part down here, I'm gonna start up here first and blend that into the gold that's on the beginning of the lid. Only as far as where the blue is, just here. Bring that out to my inner tear duct and start blending it from there. And then just here, I'm just gonna fill in that tiny little gap right there. Okay, so to move on from there and kind of finish the eyes off a little bit more, we're going to go in with MAC's Feline eye pencil, my small little feline, and I'm just going to run that in my waterline and make sure you get all the gaps that you might have missed before. And then just using that to tightline, so we're just going to go up along the inner tear duct area. I'm well used to doing this, so it's not it doesn't. Okay, so now we're going to do the upper lash line with some liner, because this is kind of a very dramatic, cut creasy kind of look. So we're going to do a nice liner. So I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown black ink liner, and I'm going to use a Real Techniques fine liner brush, isn't it? Yeah, fine liner brush. Just really mash that in to the liner to really soften it out. I always find just really softening up the liner helps the line go on a lot easier. And we're just going to start along the actual lashes. I may speed this up. Okay, so now we've got our liner all done. Quite a dramatic liner because it's a very dramatic look, so we might as well. I'm going to use my Soap & Glory Thick and Fast Mascara. We're just going to pop that on the upper and lower lashes. Okay, so while my mascara dries, before I put my lashes on, I'm going to do my concealer and my powder, and then I'll do my lashes afterwards. I'm having a breakout, so I'm going to use a heavier concealer than I did under my eyes. I don't normally have breakouts like this, which is really weird. I think it's a stress-related breakout or it's a hormone-related breakout. Probably both. I don't know. I'm going to use the MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette in the shade Light, but these all have individual shades, so I'm going to use this one right here because it's more yellow toned and it's an NC15 concealer, and I'm just going to use that on the same concealer that I use for my under eyes and just literally just dab it over, and it'll just slowly get rid of everything for you. Okay, and then just give me a tiny bit more coverage, but I never usually do this much coverage on my skin. It's really weird. I usually do like a heavy coverage foundation with a lighter coverage powder, or vice versa, whichever, heavy coverage powder with a lighter coverage foundation. I'm trying to think what way I'm doing this, but I'm going to go with the Studio Fix powder as well, from MAC in the shade NW10. Nice and light, slightly pinky toned, so it'll kind of warm up my skin a little bit. But just to give me that extra little layer. I'm not, to be honest, I don't really care that I have this breakout. I do get spots, it's not like I don't. I feel like for how dramatic the eyes are, I don't want spots to kind of throw it off a little bit too much. Plus, I mean, if I can cover them, I might as well. Okay, so we're all concealed and powdered and super full coverage, which is weird. I'm going to do some lashes now. So we are going to go on to these fun lashes that I actually picked up. Kinda didn't realise the significance of me picking this up, and then I was like, today as I was filming, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to use these. These are going to be so perfect. Just fluff them away. I got these in Primark, as I usually get all my lashes. And these are the Disney Aladdin false lashes. So they're basically for Princess Jasmine, and they're super nice, super fluffy, not too dramatic either, so you'll still be able to see everything going on here, but they're only $2.50. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. But I was like, I'm gonna have to use these. This is just perfect. It's if someone made them specifically for today. So let's pop these on. I'm gonna do that off camera because I will be out of frame for most of this, because that's just the way I am when I put on false lashes. But I will be back to you to finish off the rest of the face. Let's move on to the skin. So I'm not going to contour, but I am going to use bronzer. Where's it gone? There we go. This is by ML. That's all it says on it. It's the Safari bronzer, so I don't know. It looks like this. It does not look like something that I would ever use as a bronzer, but I love this bronzer. It's really weird. I got this in a glossy box, and I actually love it so much. It's so strange. So I'm just using a MAC 221 brush. What I find is the part that looks like the most prominent, which is the kind of golden bit, doesn't really come out too much. It's more these darker bits that come out, and they're actually a much better tone of a bronzer for me and anyone with pale skin, because it comes out like this on the brush. And we're just going to use it in the contoury parts of the face, really lightly. And I'm using, did I say what brush I'm using? A 137, because it's very soft and it just gives a really nice wash. That's not a wash. Of bronzer around the face. But just to give a really soft sweep of it, and then I take my powder brush and just buff it in, and I just love the effect that this gives. And then onto blusher. This is actually a new one for me because I only literally just got it today. This is the Warm Soul blush from MAC. I've used this a million times on other people and any appointments that I do, but I've never actually worn it myself. It's really weird. So I'm just going to pop that onto my cheeks. I'm using this because it's more of a bronzy pink rather than a pink. And just make sure it blends back into the bronzer. And because I want to look like I'm in the sun, I'm just going to take a tiny little dab and pop that down my nose, because when I'm in the sun, my nose goes pink. So that's more realistic of me. And then to finish it all off, I'm going to take the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Faintly Fabulous. It's one of those like with the 4 colours in it, and I'm going to mix the top 2, so the pink and the yellow one together. This is an e.l.f., just a big fluffy brush. Hair on it, that's fab. We're just going to pop that on the very tops of my cheekbones. Just give a really nice sheen across the cheeks. Okay, we are almost done. Let's do some lips. So I'm going to use a Huda Beauty lip pencil. I also got this in a glossy box and it's such a nice colour. This is in the shade Flirt. It's like a brown sort of shade. I've put a bit of powder over my lips just to take out the pinkiness of my lips. And I'm just going to line a lip very lightly. And then for my lipstick, I'm going to take the Catrice Ultimate Colour lipstick in the shade 020 Macaron. And it's this kind of nice terracotta sort of shade, but it's a nice creamy sort of finish. And then to add a bit of extra shine, make the lips look a little bit bigger, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier lip glaze in the shade Bare Naked. It's like this, and this will also help to lighten up the colour a little bit. Okay, you could definitely finish off your look here, and to be honest, this is where I have finished it off in the very first time I did this look and created this look. This is kind of what I finished with. Obviously not exactly the same, but like, you know, thereabouts. And yeah, this is where you could finish it just to keep it more wearable. I don't know how wearable this is. Well, it's wearable if you wear it, but like, whatever. But I just want to add something extra because it is Disney, and yeah, I have this little wheel of nail accessories like studs and diamonds and little beads and things like that, and stars and teardrops and all those kinds of stuff, and they're all silver, black and gold. Inside this is these, you won't be able to see it if I don't show you it on my finger, like these little like flat studs, and they're gold. So I'm going to pop these on my eye. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to pop them. I'm going to pop them either just here or maybe in here, but I'm thinking here might be just nice. Okay, and in order to stick these on, I'm just going to use my lash glue. I'm just using the Eyelure lash adhesive, and it's already got a little stick on it, so I'm just going to use that to mark it out. Try to look really straight into the mirror and go right below where your pupil is. And because these have slightly like concave underneath to them, I'm making sure it's wide enough so it actually covers the edge of them, so they do actually stick to the skin. And then I'm just going to pick up the bottom of the Real Techniques brushes. Are great because they're kind of rubberized and they actually pick up diamonds and rhinestones really well. So we're going to use that and then just stick her on. Oh, that's cute. I like it. I should do these things more often. Alrighty guys, so that is the finished look. I've kind of just changed a little bit. I put a little top on and my hairband on, and yeah, this is it. And like I said before, it is for Bri Fisher. I'm dedicating it to you because you requested it so long ago and you actually know my looks, which is awesome. Yeah, so it is for you. If you did like this look, then give me a big thumbs up down below. Let me know in the comments what you think of this look, and Bri, if you do see this, please say you do. Let me know in the comments and what you think of the look as well. And also hit subscribe to see the rest of the Disney Princess looks, any more makeup series that I plan on doing eventually, and more of just random tutorials, playtime tutorials, because I do like doing those tutorials. That's my fun new series that I like to do. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video guys.